only 3 problems. You guys are the smartest class in the history of calculus honors. Congratulations. I expect 90 in this class then. 90 something average. Okay, I'm just curious. Number 1, since it's not up there. I'm curious how you did number 1. Number 1, how you go? Never mind, I'll just do it already. Sit down. Oh, you gotta do it. You don't even have to raise your hand in this class. Just write the numbers there. It's like, come on. Okay, now there's 2 ways to do the problem. Who did this problem? Okay, what was the way you did it? Quack. The circumcenter. Find the circumcenter. Think about it. Look, if you have 3 points, and you want to find the point that's equidistant from the 3, think of these 3 points as forming a triangle. Then don't you want to find the circumcenter then? Because if this is the center of the circumscribed circle, then shouldn't the center of the circle be the same distance from all 3 points? Yeah, so in number 1, find the circumcenter. Do we know how to do that? Yes, tomorrow you better be able to find the centroid, the orthocenter, and the circumcenter, people. The circumcenter is the intersection of the perpendicular bisectors of the sides. Wasn't that number 1 on the first quiz? Yeah, we bombed that one, Mr. Park. Well, that's why you gotta, okay, look. If you bomb a problem on a quiz, that means you probably didn't do it on the homework and you just probably copied it off the board. Because a quiz is exactly the same as the homework with the numbers changed. Okay, so one way is doing circumcenter. Anybody did it a different way? Chai. Hanaoka.
I don't know.
Okumura. Morinaka. Nakashima. Shimamoto. Nobody. Nobody? Okay, did anybody use the distance formula? Liang, did it work? Yeah. Did you use the distance formula? Oh. Oh, right here, the diagonal. Because what does equidistant mean? Doesn't equidistant mean the distances are equal? Okay, so for those of you who didn't do it, I just gave you 2 ways of doing it. Which way would you do it? Okay, we already know how to do the circumcenter way. Why don't I do the distance formula way? Let's call the point that's equidistant from the 3 points. What do you want to call it? AB? Okay, I don't even know if this is an accurate picture, but I don't really care. This is not accurate, because it really doesn't matter. Okay, 5, 2. Okay, what do you want to call the point that's equidistant? AB, what, JK, what do you want to go with?
XY.
I would, okay, I guess you could, but then sometimes you run into problems because you know when you write an equation of a line, there's x's and y's. You know what I'm talking about? That's okay, we can do that. No, we do it. So these 3 distances are equal. How do you find the distance from here to here? Square root of. People, you want to get through these problems and get hints on the test. We've got to get through this.
X plus 2 squared.
Plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared. That distance has to equal this distance, which is the square root of x minus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared. And that has to equal to this distance here, which is the square root of x minus 6 squared plus y plus 1 squared. The 3 distances are equal. You write this down on your paper tomorrow, I have no problems giving you 1 out of 8 right there. No questions asked. Now you have to solve it though. Tomorrow is just, basically the test is just a truckload of algebra. That's what it is. You gotta be able to do algebra 1 tomorrow. And if you haven't practiced, then usually I don't say good luck because luck has nothing to do with the test, but I will wish you luck. Because you can make just one mistake and then everything breaks down. Because you're going to get, see, I designed my problems where the answers come out nice, but you make a mistake, you can get horrendous answers. But the key to maximizing your points is you don't stop, because once you stop, it's very difficult to give you partial credit already. You finish the problem. So if you only made like 1 arithmetic mistake, but you finish the problem, then you only get -1. But if you stop the problem, you're probably going to get like -7. You know what I'm talking about? But see, the problem is, if you make a mistake, like one arithmetic mistake, then instead of getting x equal 2, when you solve, you're probably going to get x equal 227 over 519. Like you go, but then he still plows through. No, that's how you gain partial credit. If you stop, you're not going to get partial credit. Okay, now what do you do with these? What do you do with these? If this equals that, what does that mean? It means this equals that, and this equals that. So you can do any two out of the three. Which two you want to do? Okay, let's do this one. Okay, if you have this equation right here, what do you do? What's the first thing you do? Square both sides and then multiply it all out, right? Okay, watch. X squared plus 4x plus 4 plus y squared minus 6y plus 9 is equal to x squared minus 10x plus 25 plus y squared minus 4y plus 4. Oh, Mr. Park, how come you can do algebra so good? Because I practice. You guys don't practice, you're not going to be able to do this. Like I keep telling you guys, math, to get good at math, you got to do. You have to sit down and actually grind it out. And if you don't get the practice under your belt, then what do you think is going to happen on the test? Extreme pain. That's what's going to happen. Y squareds cancel out. And look, I bring this over on this side. That's 14x. I bring the y on this side. That's minus 2y. And then this is 13. And this is 29. So if I subtract 13, that's 16. But you can reduce by 2. So 7x minus y equal 8. Hey, that's an equation of a line. What do you think the significance of that line is? What did we do? If we set these two equal to each other, so this distance equals that distance. What's the set of points that are equidistant from 2 points? A perpendicular bisector. So this is the perpendicular bisector of this segment right there. So if you're doing this method, then you're actually doing the circumcenter method, because this is the equation of the perpendicular bisector. Okay, whatever. Okay, now do you really need to finish? Okay, set these two equal to each other. Multiply out. Now, for those of you who are getting your algebra skills are getting back into shape, watch what I do. I'm going to square both sides, and then I'm going to multiply out everything. Now watch what I do. Minus 10x minus 4y plus 29 is equal to negative 12x plus 2y plus 37. Woo-hoo! Yeah, but Mr. Park, when you multiply this out, isn't there an x squared there? Where's the x squared, Mr. Park? Well, over here there's an x squared and it cancel out. It's called foresight. That's not funny. And there's a y squared here, there's a y squared there. Look at here. You only go cross them out anyway, so why even write it? Because I need training wheels, Mr. Park. Yeah, but Mr. Park, okay, I get that, but what about this? Well, all I'm doing is adding the 25 and the 4 to get the 29, and the 36 and the 1 to get the 30. I'm just, whatever. You can take as many steps as you want, okay? So add this over, so you get 2x, and then you minus 6y, subtract it, equal 8. Divide by 2, x minus 3y equal 4. Ooh, that's another line. That's the, what did we do in this one? We set these two equal to, that's the perpendicular bisector to that segment. So if I find where these two lines intersect, that's going to be the circumcenter. That's the point that's equidistant from the 3 points. Can you take it from there? I'm just curious. What would you guys do if you had these two equations? Would you use the addition, subtraction method or substitution? I'm just curious. Like when I see the coefficient being 1 or negative 1, I think substitution's easier, right? Because look, you solve for x in this equation, x equals 3y plus 4. Take that, plug it in there. So if you multiply by 7, you get 21y plus 28 minus y equal 8. So that's 20y is equal to negative 20, y equal negative 1. See, you get something like this tomorrow, you should be thinking, oh yeah, see, integer. Mr. Park likes his answers to be integers. And then once you get y, how do you get x? You plug it in here. So what's 3 times negative 1 plus 4? 1. So therefore, the coordinates of the circumcenter are 1, negative 1. See, it's all algebra. There's no tricks in this problem. It's just algebra. Do you guys understand that equidistant means the distances are equal? Because I gave that, we had it on the homework, I gave it to you on the quiz, and some of you are befuddled. Equidistant means the distances are equal, so you just use the distance formula. Okay, next. Number 3. Ooh, the probability that this is on tomorrow's test. See, right now, I have it on the test. It's written on the test, but see, I change it sometimes when I think of something bad. So how many people got this one? 1 person. Oh my, we are in a heap of trouble. Okay, so here's A, 0, 0, B, 1, 2, C, 5, 4. Just for that, the probability just went up to 0.95. This is on tomorrow's test. Okay, what do you want to call this? We have to find the coordinates of D. What do you want to call it? X, Y again. Okay, whatever. Okay, now this is an isosceles trapezoid. Now, if this is a trapezoid, what can you say about AD and BC? They have to be parallel. And what makes two segments parallel? Their slopes must be, rhymes with equal. Equal. So how do you find the slope between A and D? Use the slope formula. Y minus 0 over x minus 0. See, if I give you 0, 0, it makes the computations a lot simpler. And then how do you find the slope of BC? 4 minus 2 over 5 minus 1. Come on. 1/2. Thank you. Okay, I got one equation. You just got 1 point. Now, but you have two variables. You need another equation. This is an isosceles trapezoid. What does isosceles mean? This side gotta equal that side, right? So what equation am I gonna write? The distance from here to here equals the distance from there to there, okay? What is the distance from here to here? Square root of x minus 5 squared plus y minus 4 squared. Do you see how I write the variable first? I don't know why I'm teaching you this. This is Algebra 1. When I write the variable first, you make less mistakes. Because some people are writing the number first. You go 5 minus x. I mean, it really doesn't make a difference. But I feel students make less mistakes if you have the variable first. But it's up to you. And that equals the distance from here to here. Come on, you can do that in your head, right? Radical rhymes with my. Jive? No, it's 5. So now I have two equations, two variables, just solve it. So you write this down on tomorrow's test. I give you 2 out of 8, no questions asked. You want the other 6 points, then you solve it using Algebra 1. But look, it's easy. Solve for either x or y in this equation and plug it in this one. Okay, so this is what I would do. Like, okay, square both sides. X minus y. You want me to do the algebra? Square both sides. Which variable do you want to solve for? Would you rather have y equal 1/2 x, or would you rather have x equals 2y? It just depends if you like fractions or not, yeah?
X equals 2y.
Ah, that's weak. Whatever, I don't care. Just to pick one and go with it. If you don't like fractions, then pick this one. If you don't mind fractions, then do the other one. Okay, you want to go with x equals 2y? Weaklings? Okay, put it. Okay, square it. 4y squared minus 20y plus 25 plus y squared minus 8y plus 16 equal 5. Hey, it's a quadratic equation. Duh, that's what we're studying. 5y squared minus 28y. Okay, so what's that going to be? 41 minus 5 is plus 36. Did I do that correctly? Of course, I'm the teacher. And then you factor it. So 5y and y. So what do we got? 36 and 1? 9 and 4? 6 and 6? 18 and 2? I can factor this. You guys gotta do it. 9 and 4. Go home, cook rice. 18 and 2. You know how I know? Or are you guys smart? Did you guys play the game? Like, look at the answer at the bottom. What number are we doing? What number are we doing? 3. So I see the y coordinate is 3.6. What is 3.6? What? It's 18 over 5. Oh yeah, so that's why it's gotta be that one then, right? You guys ever think about things like that? But you're not gonna have answers tomorrow. You want me to put answers on the bottom tomorrow? I did a couple years ago. They wanted answers on the bottom, so I gave them answers. But it was still a history test. No, tell you what, I can show it to you. I put like, okay, like the Caspian Sea, because that's the largest lake in the world, right? And so forth. Anyway. So y equal 18/5 or 2. Oh, so Mr. Park, get 2 answers. Yes, I love when it comes out to 2 answers. Yeah, but so box that's the answer? No, you have to find the coordinates of this point. We just found the y coordinate. So 18/5 and 2. How do I get the x coordinates? Where should I go back? Right here. X equals 2 times y. So once you find y, just multiply it by 2 to get x. Go, multiply it by 2. 36 bits, multiply that by 2, 4. Box that's the answer. No. Now see, if you did all that work and you wrote that down, I'm only going to take off 1 point. You got to cross this one out. How come?
It's an extraneous answer.
Yeah, but why though? Because I don't see it on the bottom. No, because this point is this point right here. See, because the conditions are the same, right? This point, this slope equals that slope, this side equals this side, but this is not an isosceles trapezoid, it's a parallelogram. So that's why you have to cross out this one, because it forms a parallelogram, not an isosceles trapezoid. But it satisfies the 2 conditions that you wrote, right? This slope equals this slope, that side equals that side. But it doesn't form an isosceles trapezoid. That's it. The probability is 0.99 now that this is on tomorrow's test. 0.99. I want to see that you can do Algebra 1. You have to convince me. Because some of you are just furiously scribbling on your paper. I'm warning you, you copy off the board. Yeah, you're gonna get 100% on your homework, but then you can just go bomb the test. The test is 100 points now. Homework is only 5 points an assignment. And usually you can talk to anybody who took PCH last year. I don't correct homework very often. Maybe once a quarter. No, that's it. And I'm not even that sometimes. I give you the homework points free. I give you 100% of the homework. But the homework is only compared to a test. Test is like, that's the major thing. You have to perform on the test. Just like sports, right? What's that? Okay, next. Okay, everybody got number 4. Because this is number 1, I already told you this already. Number 1 on tomorrow's test is you're going to have to write the equation of Euler's line. Is everybody getting it? Because it's not on the board. This is number 1 on the test. Let me just tell you, a lot of people got -8 last year. Yeah. Oh, come on! Okay, no, let's do it. Okay, but I'll just tell you right now, if we don't get to number 11, you're in a heap of trouble. We don't get to number 11. No. I love doing problems that we've done before. Bukai, why are we doing this? You taking the hit for the class? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, Euler's line goes through what 3 points? The median, the centroid, the orthocenter, and the circumcenter. Do I have to find all 3 points? No, please don't, because you're just wasting your time. What's the easiest to find? The centroid. Okay, the centroid, all you gotta do is average, but last year a lot of people couldn't even average. What's the average of 1, 7, and 4? 4. What's the average of 1, 3, and 5? Okay, you get that, I'll give you 1 point. Okay, now you gotta decide, do I want the orthocenter or the circumcenter? Which one's easier? If you did your homework, you should know. Plus I told you before. The orthocenter is easier to find. So I'm gonna call this centroid O for orthocenter. Now what is the orthocenter? It's the intersection of the altitudes. Okay, which altitude you wanna do? Shall we just do this one? Okay, so first you gotta find the slope of AB, which is what? Quick. 2 over 6 is 1/3. Therefore, perpendicular to that is gonna be -3, right? So how do you write an equation of a line with slope -3 passing through that point? You guys use the Park method, or are you still doing the point slope form? Or some people still doing y equal mx plus b. I don't want to mention any names, Matsubara. Y minus 5 equal -3x minus 4. I don't like to embarrass people, that's why. Okay, now, we need another altitude. You want to do the one from B or the one from A? Pick one. Okay, the one from A. So we got to make perpendicular. So first you got to find the slope of BC, which is, what's the slope? 2 over -3, -2/3. Therefore, what's the slope perpendicular to that? +3/2. And it's got to pass through this point. So what is it going to be? Wait, which one are you doing? Which one are we doing? Oh, we're doing A. Okay, so it's got to pass through this point. Y minus 1 equals 3/2 times x minus 1. Woo! Here are two lines. Find where they intersect. So what do you want to do? People, we're running out of time here. Pick a method. Just go with it. Solve for y and 1, plug it into the other, distribute what? That's why if you use the Park method, which I hardly see anybody using on the quiz, but no, you guys don't want to do it. No. 3x plus 12 plus 17. Okay, let's solve for y. Y equals 3/2 x minus 3/2 plus 1, so minus 1/2. Did I do this correctly? All I did is change it into y equal mx plus v4. The Matsubara method. Okay, now what? Substitute? Okay, so substitute for y. -3x plus 17 is equal to 3/2 x minus half. How do I get rid of fractions? Multiply through by 2. -6x plus 34 is equal to 3x minus 1. 9x equal 35. X equal 35 times. Woo! Okay, now how do I figure out the y coordinate? Plug it back into one of these. I think this one is better, but they've got bigger numbers, so you better be careful. Can you guys handle 17? I think you can. Y equal -3 times 35 ninths plus 17. Oh, but 3 goes into 9 3 times, but 17 is 51/3, so you get, what is that, 16/3? Okay, so the orthocenter is 35 ninths, 16/3. Can you see now that if you don't practice your algebra, tomorrow you're just going to be frustrated and you might cry. So bring something to wipe the tears. Okay, now once you get these 2 points, how do you write the equation of the line going through these 2 points? First you find the slope. So y minus y over x minus x. Okay, multiply top and bottom by 9, so you get 27 minus 48 over 36 minus 35, which is equal to -21 over 1. The slope is -21. Pick one of these points. Which one is easier to work with? I think this one, yeah? So y minus 3 equal -21 times x minus 4. This is Euler's line right there. See, that's why pick a method to use and just stick with it. If you guys want to do point slope, then just do point slope all the time so you don't make a mistake. Now tomorrow I'm going to ask you to write your equation in a certain form. Then if you have to change that to a different form, you do. You know what I'm talking about? So this is number 1 on tomorrow's test. Okay, I hope the questions are good. Number 5. Okay, this is a good question to ask because I think you're going to see something like it, but it's going to be kicked up several times. Okay, how do you determine if a quadratic equation has a double root? The discriminant has to be what? 0. Okay, so the trick is, it's not a trick, but you have to put this in quadratic form so you can figure out what the discriminant is. So you have to multiply out everything. K squared x squared plus 2kx plus 1 equals kx plus x. Okay, now put it in quadratic form. There's only one x squared term. You leave that there. Here, why don't we just do this here? Quadratic form, something x squared plus something x plus something. So this is k squared. Okay, now look. There's 3x terms. If you bring them all to the left side of the equation, what's the coefficient going to be? K minus 1, good. And then there's only one constant term, that's the 1. So how do you figure out what's the discriminant? B squared minus 4AC. And what did you tell me? Gotta equal 0. And then now you just solve that equation. And do you see that it's a quadratic equation? Yeah, that's how I make two answers. So you have to be able to put anything I give you into quadratic form. That's going to come up several times tomorrow. Like number 11. Number 11 that I don't know if we're going to get to. You're in a heap of trouble. Okay, number 6. Okay, this is a super important concept. 2x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. R and S are the roots of this equation. A, what's the value of 1 over R plus 1 over S? Now, one way to do the problem is you could actually compute the two roots of this equation by using the quadratic formula. But don't you get like two ugly numbers? Who did it that way? Okay, then you just take the reciprocal of each one and add them together. That works. But is there a faster way? Did anybody do it the fast way? People, this is like SAT. If you see an algebraic expression, write it in a different form. What's another way to write 1 over R plus 1 over S? I'll give you a hint. When you add fractions, you make the least common denominator. What's going to go on the top? S plus R, or R plus S. Oh, Mr. Park, if R and S are the roots, what is R plus S? What is the sum of the two roots of a quadratic equation? Negative B over A. So R plus S, here, I'll write this down. The sum of the two roots is negative B over A. The product of the two roots is C over A. What is C over A? Look, what is C over A? Negative 2. So this is negative 3/2. This is equal to negative 2. The answer is 3/4. You don't have to do any computations. Oh, Mr. Park, the sum of the roots and the product of the roots thing is super important. Oh yeah, very important. If you don't know the sum of the roots is negative B over A and the product of the roots is C over A tomorrow, you're probably going to lose 16 points right off the bat right there. It's over. All over but the crying. But if that's the only way you know how to do the problem, then do it that way. See, that's the thing. Some of you just look at it and go, I don't know. You got to try something. That's mathematics. Sometimes you have to try 10 things before something works. Okay, now what about this? Well, for those of you who got the first problem, then you probably got the first root, you squared it, got the second root, and you squared it, and you add them together. And it's really not that much algebra. But there's a fast way. What's another way of writing this? Okay, we only got 5 minutes left. I'm just going to tell you. Isn't this the same thing as R plus S squared minus what? 2RS, right? Would you agree? Now, why do you write it like that? That's because we know R plus S is negative 3/2. And we know R times S is negative 2. Boom, there's your answer. Oh boy. I think we got 5 minutes left. We better do number 11. Now what about number 9? Everybody got number 9. So in number 9, did you guys use the negative B over A and the C over A? That's what you're supposed to do, that's why. Okay, so number 9, the probability of that problem being on tomorrow's test, I'll tell you, is 1. You gotta know the negative B over A and the C over A, otherwise how do you do it? Okay, number 10, okay, we know how to do that. Okay, let's do it number 11. The probability that number 11 is on the test is like, right now it's 1. Might go down to 0.9, but I don't know. Okay, you have a wire, 1 meter long. You cut it into 2 pieces. One piece is bent into a square, the other is bent into a circle. If x represents the amount of wire used to make the square, find the value of x so that the sum of the areas is a minimum. Okay, cross out 11b. We don't have time for 11b. Okay, we're just going to do 11a because that's the one on tomorrow's test. Okay, so if this is x, what is this? 1 minus x. Okay, now we want the sum of the areas to be a maximum. So we need to write a function that represents the sum of these two areas. Okay, now if x represents the length of wire making the square, then what? Wouldn't this be x over 4? So therefore, what's the area of the square? X squared over 16. Okay. Now what about the circle? This 1 minus x, isn't that the circumference of the circle? So 2 pi r gotta equal 1 minus x. So therefore r equals 1 minus x over 2 pi. That's the radius of the circle. So, and if you know the radius of the circle, how do you find the area? Pi times the radius squared. Okay, so to get any points at all, you gotta have that written on your paper. Okay, do we? Wait. Yeah, now we got it. Do you see that this is a quadratic function? Okay, this is a quadratic function. How do we figure out the value of x that's going to make a minimum area? In other words, if you have a parabola opening up, how do I figure out the vertex? Negative b over 2a. But see, it's not in quadratic form. You have to put it in quadratic form and then do the negative b over 2a. See, that's the hard part. Okay, so let's do this. So, how do you put it in quadratic form, Mr. Park? Well, you gotta multiply it out, fool. Go. 1 minus 2x plus x squared all over 4 pi squared, but then this pi cancels that pi. Okay, so let's do it. Let's see. Because we're running out of time. Now notice there's two x squared terms. There's one x squared term here. There's one x squared term there. If I combine them together, what's the coefficient going to be here? Look, right here. What's the coefficient of x squared? 116 plus, what's the coefficient of x squared here? 1 over 4 pi. Not just 1. It's 1 over 4 pi. When you divide a fraction by 4 pi, you have to divide everything by 4 pi now. Okay, here's the x term. See? What's the coefficient of x right here? Negative 2 over 4 pi, which simplifies to negative 1 over 2 pi. Now there's only one constant term. What is it? Right here. 1 over 4 pi. Now it's in quadratic form. See? ax squared plus bx plus c. So, where is the minimum going to occur? At negative b over 2a. There you go. That's your answer, right there. That's your answer, and you just have to simplify it now. So if you had to simplify this, how would you do it? 2 pi, distribute to 2, 1/8 plus 1 over 2 pi. Okay, when you have a complex fraction, multiply top and bottom by the least common denominator, which is, quick, 8 pi. If you multiply top and bottom by 8 pi, then you get 4 plus pi plus 4. Woo, there's your answer. Okay, I think I told you pretty much what's on the test. You guys need to practice. That's my team. So are you taking it tomorrow or Thursday? Thursday. Oh, but you lost out, man. Anyway, if you have questions, come in the morning then. Pretty much hardly anybody's coming in for help, which means you guys are doing it. What?
How many points can you get if you get everything completely wrong?
The whole test completely wrong?
Yeah.
You can get 36. 36 points out of 100. Everything's out of points. That's the lowest you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you average the 36 with 100 you got on the last test, what if you got 100? What is that? 60
Yeah, I know. Wait, what?
But that's only if you get everything.
It's been done before. Really? It's been done before.
I hope it doesn't repeat.
Well, I'm here like 6:45 at the latest.
Granny, let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna come.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Park, I think I have two.
Here, I'll be here.
I talked to the side guys and they said your sample
Oh, you mean the practice test?
Yeah, or like, no, they said they have
Oh, I don't know.
Wow. Do you
Oh,
do all of them?
When we have a quiz, I do that. But then for a test, you guys have to practice test.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.